Hi everybody, Matt Bernier taking a look back at the Grade 3 Bold Venture here on Weekend Wrap. It was a big day up at Woodbine Saturday afternoon, highlighted by the Woodbine Mile, but obviously the other graded stakes races, they deserve a little bit of credit and attention as well. Here it is as they break from the gate. This is the Bold Venture. The big story here, there wasn't a lot of speed signed on initially anyway from the gate, and that was the interesting part about this entire race, because both the 2-horse Boreal Spirit and the 3-horse Puntruski, they had shown in the past the ability to go out there and set some legitimate fractions, and the scratch of Goodbye Greg completely changed, I think, some of the tactics of this race. And really what it resulted in is Boreal Spirit out there on the front end by himself, setting pretty tepid fractions, especially if you believe the Timeform US color codings. They have the opening quarter and the opening half miles both color-coded blue, meaning that they are slow paces. And again, you have Boreal Spirit out there going 23 for the opening quarter, and you see him going 45 and 4 for a half mile. You see some other horses off the bridle already, including Unbridled One, who went off as the surprising favorite at 9 to 5. Meanwhile, here comes Karen Road, who is really just riding the rails, following this leader, allowing him to be towed into the race. Now he's angled out off of cover into the clear, and he's going to be set down for the drive, and he finishes this thing off like a good thing. You have a nice little run here from a couple of different horses from the back of the pack, including a Circle of Friends. But at the end of the day, Karen Road is just much the best in this spot. He gets the job done over Boreal Spirit, who had the beauty and luxury of a cushy trip on the front end. But it was a big effort from Karen Road. This is a horse who was claimed just a few starts back, and it seems like when you look at his overall body of work, synthetic is really what he likes. He likes the main track up at Woodbine as opposed to the turf. Not that he can't act on the turf, but he just seems to be much better suited for the synthetic. Karen Road pays $12 on the win, and Boreal Spirit, the pace setter, he sticks around to finish second, rounds out your $2 exacta, $54.50. Majestic Slew with a nice bid from the back of the pack. He pays $5.90 to show, and if you were so inclined to play the Triactor for $2, $260.70 would be your return. Karen Road earns a 101 Beyer speed figure in winning the Bold Venture. He is a nice horse. He's an honest horse. There's really nothing to knock about him. I don't think he's a superstar. The 101 Beyer maybe seems and feels a little bit high. If you look at it from a Timeform standpoint, he earned a 111 Timeform US rating, which seems like it makes a bit more sense here. But not to take anything away from this horse. Shrewd move from the connections to go out and grab this one. He's professional. He can go to the front. He can be within a length or so, or he can run like he did here in the Bold Venture, come from the middle of the pack, a few lengths off of it, and go and get a horse that's out there on the front end all by himself. Going forward, maybe this isn't the most interesting race, simply because I don't know how many of these horses we're going to see in spots as far as Breeders' Cup time is concerned, because they all seem like they have their home up north of the border at Woodbine. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see these horses face off again in another race, another stakes race going forward. But as far as Breeders' Cup implications, this race probably doesn't have many, if any at all. The interesting thing for me about this race was Unbridled One. Unbridled One, anyone that has paid attention to Unbridled One's career knows that he is not the hardiest of animals. He doesn't really want to go out there and beat you. And it's also worth noting, he had been running in longer distance races, route races, a mile and 16th, a mile on an 8th. They tried to turn him all the way back to 6.5 furlongs, and he actually was forwardly placed for a little bit of the running. And then when the real running started, he packed it in and faded badly. I'm not sure what you do with a horse like Unbridled One. I think you probably go back and stretch him out again, because I don't think this is really what he wants to do. To me, this was a failed experiment. I'm not going to fault the connections for taking a shot, simply because there was a fair amount of money. It was a graded stakes race, and it didn't seem like it was the strongest of fields. But Unbridled One, his home is probably, again, going longer on the synthetic surface. But take nothing away from the winner, Karen Road. He gets the job done. He wins the Bold Venture with a 101 Beyer speed figure.